For the past week or so, on my off time, I've been playing the 100-line Last Defense Academy, and yeah, I have a lot to say about that, but let's actually get into this first. So I'm going to autopilot a lot, because I autopilot a lot during this video, because there's a lot I want to say. Also, 3 custom mysteries, but as we get ill-fated a Dotu, yeah, I actually did some homework, by the way. I looked into a certain library event, and oh buddy boy, does it look... Did I want to do? No, I didn't. Did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so we'll do at least, yeah, again, I said I was going to do one more on the same character, I think, and if not, well, we're going to find out. No random item stats. I need to move this mouse pad because the table I'm on does not work for mouses very well, so I'm using a mouse pad. I think I have a photo of that, actually, but... As we actually get into it, though, 2 ill-fated character, exclusive custom character with 3 custom mysteries. Yeah, I've been playing the 100-line Last Defense Academy, and that game, unless I say this, as we have Takushi-san, Strength, Charisma, Dexterity, Second Mystery, and Second Encounter, sorry, and maybe a Knowledge check. 8 Strength, 8 Dexterity, 4 Perception as always, 4 Knowledge, 4 Charisma. We're going to set the hardware store unless something else happens. Yeah, unless I say this, I guarantee 9 out of 10 people who plan to Let's Play that game are not going to go through the whole thing. If you buy this game, you are a hardcore visual novel or fan of, let's just say, the writers who did, I think it was also the Nonary game series, but definitely the Danganronpa series. So... And I'm not going to spoil anything. I should say right. Probably Future Jordan should have said that. We'll put that in the thumbnail, but should have said that immediately. So no spoilers, but I will tell you, it's a forced buffet. If you buy and or play this game, you are not doing all the achievements in 2 hours. Definitely not. Mermaids, Festival, Goal, Murder, and Notations. I completely forgot, but I know Notations is relatively safe, I think, so we're going to take Notations. But... yeah, that game is a very huge game. I dare to even say people will... Already you get people being bamboozled. So I understand both criticisms of the game in that you'll hear often that it's a very bloated game, and then you'll also hear that it's a very filling visual novel experience. Again, if you buy this game, you are not playing any other game for the next... if you're not no-lifing, because you will have to no-life it, and I have my own free time to play, because as I'm developing a game, I can look over on my other setup and have games running, in this case, 100-line Last Defense Academy. So, as I'm waiting for something to render, like a video for this channel, as I'm waiting for games to render through RPG Maker, and then I pull them up, run tests on what, my characters do and what events I'm running through, the dialogue, checking for typos, running them through, checking words, I can look over and, let Last Defense Academy play, autoplay, and it is a thing. And there's also gameplay. So, for anyone who doesn't know, to explain what Last Defense Academy is, and has never ever played maybe a Danganronpa game. Did I switch this to Legal Den, by the way? I did. I guess I'll use the wooden bat. I forgot. I'll check the Legal Den really quickly. Okay, Meat Cleaver's better. 100-line Last Defense Academy is primarily a visual novel, but it also has gameplay elements. To equate it to something, as we're on, that's right, we're on Ill-Fated, it is like 13 Sentinels. And again, if you haven't played 13 Sentinels, both are visual novels with gameplay elements that are intricately tied together in gameplay format. Now, you don't need everything, but some people think that the gameplay in... we'll say Last Defense Academy, for lack of a better term, or LDA. I'll say Last Defense, so you know what I'm talking about here, as we nearly die. But in Last Defense Academy, there's definitely kind of a disjoint, because at a certain point... Well, yeah, again, I don't want to go into too much spoilers. It's basically, there is gameplay to it. It's strategic gameplay, and you are forced into it, definitely, early on. But... a large portion of it is going through the visual novel portion. Again, I can also equate it to 426 Shibuya Scramble, although that is primarily and solely a visual novel element. But then again, if you consider switching between characters and whatnot, gameplay element of Shibuya Scramble anyway, then in that same way, 100-line Last Defense Academy has a strategic tile-based gameplay as its gameplay. And to equate it to something else, in case someone else wants an example, it has Fire Emblem type tile-based gameplay. But the exactly, how you deal damage and whatnot, strategy is a lot different. Let's take gold now. I'll take Murder third. I am dying to reason, by the way, but hopefully we survive. Reason is our primary concern. We have prescription pills, but yeah, again, the game is... Last Defense Academy is definitely a large game. Your first run, unless you're skipping through everything, which in that case, why even play the game, right? Can be like a few hours, but if you're actually reading through everything, easily 8 to 10 hours for one playthrough. And because the game is, this isn't a spoiler because the devs say this stuff. There are 100 endings, so getting your first endings will each take up anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. So there is a time investment there. And if you're really trying to dig into the characters, the lore and whatnot, it's definitely going to take that for each run. Now, there are certain points in which that might not be the case, but again, like I said, for anyone let's playing the game, I salute anyone who properly tries to go through each and every part. Again, as to be expected in visual novels, this is not really a spoiler, but there are endings in which, quote-unquote bad endings, but among those, there are still a vast majority, like nearly... There are enough endings in which the time does... You will need a time investment, so... Boy, and that again, this is not even... this is even without going into the... Trying to understand all of the lore. Obviously, at this point, because I was a bit late to the party, there are people who've 100% of that game, but that's what I mean. If you're trying to 100% that game, and I mean, even this is like the low 100% in terms of understanding everything, I can see you going easily past 100, 200 hours, easily, because you're gonna fine comb through everything to get as much as possible, so... again, I see why some people think that the game is bloated, but I don't agree because it's a difference of opinion basically in terms of target audience. If you came into Last Defense Academy expecting a little bit more gameplay to be tied in with the visual novel, I think you'll find yourself... I can understand why you'd be disappointed. I think anyway. But otherwise, if you're a hardcore visual novel enjoyer, then you will definitely, in my opinion, I think most people will love Last Defense Academy. Again, I'm saying this knowing that not everyone's going to have the same taste in visual novels, but definitely hardcore fans of Danganronpa and or the non-re game series are things. And when I say non-re games, I mean things like 9 people, 9 persons, 9 doors, Zero Escape, so on and so forth. I think so, right? Am I going crazy? I'm gonna look this up while I'm going through murder here. Sorry, Hasman. But let me see here. Let me use local tradition as an excuse as we continue on. Good thing there's a loading screen. Oh, clickety-clack on the keyboard. Oh, yeah, that's right. And then we're on ill-fated. We can live through that. We have 1 stamina left. I should actually just rest. Who am I kidding? We get less efficient rest, but we gotta survive by stamina. So let me see here. And you can see during the credits, basically during the credits too, there are usually like a few key... I think there are several writers for each ending, basically, if that makes any sense. Rotated between the same, because I think... I mean, let me get the name right. Yeah, Kazutaka Kodaka is a primary name in those. Oh, let me see. Oh my goodness, do I die here? By the way, there's no way I die here, right? There's a way I die here, huh? We can't brace. The question is if I get out afterward. 70%. Gotta go for this. I need the damage now. I can also trade off reason, but we're still gambling at a certain point, so let me do some calculations here really quickly so I don't die. 12 damage. I could throw a thing. Otherwise, I think, yeah, I'm going to do what I said. So we're going to brace here. And trade off 4 reason for 2 stamina so we can survive. We can't really rest as great. I don't really want to rest at 1. If I have to, I have to, but you get the point, I think. So with this, now we can desperate prep. I could have done double attacks here, but we're gambling on a... 80-70 question mark? So, and then I think we get 13 damage, so I didn't really even have to do that, but I just wanted to be completely safe, and here we're actually going to heal stamina instead. So, and away we go. Let me see here. Oh my goodness. Nope, I think I said the wrong thing. I might have said the wrong thing. Well, let's find out. So, really? Was it non-re games? Huh. Alright, well, hey. Fun times ahead. Yeah, it is. Zero Escape series. So that's, again, the writer for Zero Escape and the writer for the Danganronpa series both worked on Last Defense Academy as a kind of thing. Obviously, the art style takes from the people in charge of Danganronpa and, Rain Code, I think, is the more recent one, but you get the point. And if anything else, Last Defense Academy is another comparison is it's at least 3 times the time you would spend in 2 to 3 Like a Dragon series. I would be willing to go that far. Now, I could be plus or minus 1 game, but you get the point. The time you're spending in Last Defense Academy can be just as long, if not longer, than at least 2 Like a Dragon games. Even going for 100%, like in both series. But again, that's my opinion. So we're gonna take the complete stamina healing for all the Doom there. I think it's well worth it. 6. I think that was 6 stamina for 6 Doom, right? Because each onsen rest is plus 2 stamina. But you get the point. Again, I might be exaggerating here, but that doesn't betray the fact that you're gonna be, if you really want to get into the meat and potatoes and understanding the lore, getting in experience 50 to 100 hours minimum. Because you think you did. I like that. Basically, people went through a handful of endings and thought they were done, and then I figured out a certain mechanic in that game, and I was like, oh no, this game has people fooled. Basically, I know it has some people fooled, but anywho, I should actually just run from this. 4 all, I've never fought this encounter actually, but now that I know it does, well, 3 all on base, I think, and I think 2 all on non-harbinger difficulty. You get the point. It's a high damage dealing all encounter. High all damage dealing encounter. We get curse signs again, but I don't think they stack. But anywho, I like Last Defense Academy, basically. I would rate it high as a visual novel, but in general, it is not for everyone. I will agree, because you will be wondering where your time went. I fail to... The people who would say it's a good game are people who have both the time and investment in usually visual novel, with, hybrid gameplay elements. But, again, you're either a very hardcore fan of the... Danganronpa Raincode style, or again, you really like visual novels. And I've tuned into a few visual novel channels who've are playing Last Defense Academy as a let's play. And as I said, playing that game as a let's play, if you are going to go through pretty much everything, even the smaller branches of endings, then I salute you. I salute you. But as for everyone else who's whose content may be more variety focused, maybe you play shooters, fighters, other games, basically. You're gonna play Last Defense Academy, and you're probably just gonna do the first playthrough and stop. Unless I say this again, because obviously, if I say something, people might be, incensed, fueled to do more. But I promise you, 9 out of 10 people, maybe 4 out of 5, are going to... They're gonna drop that game, all right, after a few endings. That's my prediction. Because that's not. I'm not faulting anyone for that, because there are other games that come out. But that's what I mean when you. Last Defense Academy is definitely, unless you play the game, you won't understand what I mean. We're gonna fight this Time Warper actually, because I want the thing. I did not mean to take 4 all damage. I thought I saved the brace. Now we're in pain. Well. The good news is we're healing through stamina damage in a level up. The bad news is we didn't have that much to begin with, so... I think we can take safely on our own, but anywho. If nothing else, a character with high stats like this is usually going to be a lot easier to play than a character with low stats, even though they might have... Unless they have, adrenaline or core strength or something, it's hard to really... go through Roll of 4, Harbinger style anyway. I didn't even use the police station, which I probably should, but... We're relatively okay. Never mind. I take the ill-fated stamina damage. I should have known better. I should have actually visited the tree. But yeah, that's if you're wondering what I'm doing on the side, that was Last Defense Academy. Again, as I've also talked about Expedition 33, but that was not on my plate. So yeah, without further ado, if you have any questions or you want to support me, you know what to do, because I have to stop this video because I lost